Hi, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about whiplash and the progressive nature of the treatment that happens after a whiplash event. Oh, but Dr. Dalton, I haven't been in a car accident, so I know I don't have whiplash. That's where I want to start. So, whiplash does not just mean, oh, I had to be in a car accident. Whiplash quite literally just means a cervical sprain or strain. So, a muscle, ligament, or tendon in the neck has been stretched to the point where it is now in pain. You took it beyond its physiological range. So, we almost always attribute that to a car accident, and that's when it happens pretty frequently. And we almost always think of it as this forward and then back, or back and then forward type of event in that sagittal plane, when obviously your neck has various ranges of motion, so you can also create a cervical sprain or strain going forward and back. And I just want to outline kind of what we do in a situation where we hear that someone might have a whiplash event. So starting in the acute phase, so basically right after you either have a car accident or even something just as simple as slipping and falling and having kind of a jarring effect in your neck, or bracing in a way that you haven't ever, that can cause a cervical sprain or strain. So after something like that, in that acute phase, we're probably not wanting to stretch those structures any more than they want to, because they're already very inflamed. So what we would do, if it's a very severe case, we're probably not even going to do a lot of adjusting on those first few treatments, because one, we're going to be seeing you pretty regularly after an event like that, just due to the severity of said event. But if pain is through the roof and range of motion is also not good, the muscles and tendons and ligaments that have been stretched like that do not want to be moved beyond that space, and the muscles around them are going to be guarding to help prevent that movement anyway. So we're not going to adjust through that resistance. Um, it would also be contraindicated anyway, because we might further aggravate that strain. So what we would do is probably a lot more soft tissue work on that, where we'll put you on a muscle stim to help those muscles calm down around that area and help release some endorphins in that area as well, just for some natural pain relief. Once we progress through that, though, that's when we're looking more into adjusting and passive range of motion of those structures in your cervical spine, which means active range of motion is when you're actively moving it. So it's you controlling the movement, that's your muscles being activated. Passive range of motion is what happens during an adjustment. You're completely relaxed, and someone else is taking you through that range of motion to where you're not having to activate your muscles. That's the next step through stuff like this, to kind of train that range of motion back without you having to actively engage those muscles that are still kind of sore. And then once we get you out of that phase, that's when we're, you know, going into regular adjusting. People should be tolerating it a lot better at this point, and we're also hammering the soft tissue therapies as well, so that we can keep those soft tissue structures moving well and hydrated and lubricated, because if they aren't, that's just going to further prolong our healing process and keep the joints that were already strained and stressed um, bound up and still very sore. So that's something that will lead to other problems down the line, and that's something that we see a lot of as chiropractors. So let us help you help yourself after a whiplash event by staying on top of your care and letting us help you get out of that pain and preventing further problems down the road. If you or someone that you know has a cervical sprain or strain, or has been in a car accident, please tell them to call our office and help us help them. Everyone have a great day.